Hey everyone, Tim from BSP headquarters here, and welcome to a special Black Swamp podcast bonus episode. We've put together a short BSP Q&A segment after we opened up a call for listener questions several weeks ago. We received some interesting inquiries and had fun as a team putting together responses. So let's get to it. Our first question comes from @MartinPercussion on Instagram, asking, how was BSP formed and how did you guys take off? I suppose in regards to how we took off, Martin is meaning how we grew in reputation and popularity. Somewhat of a historical question, which also actually ties into one of the most popular questions we get asked when we're out and about, which is, where did the Black Swamp name and logo come from? I thought the best person to answer these sort of history questions would be our BSP founder and entrepreneurial extraordinaire, Eric Soy. All right, we're recording. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Tim.
Welcome to my office.
It's a beautiful office.
I know.
You have a beautiful view of the parking lot.
I enjoy looking at my car while I'm working at Black Swamp. Okay, so we're doing a Q&A episode for the podcast, and one of the questions came from @MartinPercussion on Instagram, which I read for the audience a little bit ago. But it was kind of a historical question, how we got started and how we took off. And I think what's tied to that is also the concept behind the logo, hand, and where the name came from. So are you willing and able to talk a little bit about how you got started?
Yes, sir.
And where those elements came from?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
So my start was in a rented house in Bowling Green, Ohio, at the basement. And this was right after I got my master's degree in ethnomusicology, actually, from Bowling Green State University.
Okay.
And I was making bamboo-handled timpani mouths as a hobby, and had friends that started buying them, and it sort of started right there. And I was in that house for, I believe it was a year, and then we moved up to Adrian, Michigan. Mm-hmm. And then I graduated to my garage.
From basement to a garage.
12,
you were moving on up.
12 by 24. And started to get some dealer accounts.
So what, I mean, you progressed to some other products then, right? So it went from bamboo timpani mallets in your garage.
I believe the next thing I did was wood blocks. Mm. I think it was wood. It was either wood blocks or tambourines,
right?
Or they might have sort of been around the same time. But I had to learn how to bend wood for the tambourine shells.
Sure.
No, let's say the tambourines came first.
Okay.
We'll just say it. We'll just put it that way.
It's official now. It's on record. The tambourines and then wood blocks, and in your garage. And so why timpani mallets first? Because you were playing timpani. Were you a timpanist? An ethnomusicologist then?
No, not really. I wasn't playing a whole lot of timpani. In fact, at that time, and we're talking 1994, 95, there weren't a whole lot of bamboo handled timpani mouths on the market like there are today.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, I just started making them as a hobby, not really intending to sell them, just making them for myself. Right. And would drive down to this nursery, as in plant nursery,
right.
not little baby nursery,
right.
But plant nursery, and get big bundles of bamboo, bring them back and sort through all the bamboo and find the pairs and pair them up.
Cool. So when you moved up to Adrian, and that was when the company was first started officially, like named and marketed?
Yeah, so a lot of people ask, where does the name Black Swamp Percussion come from? Yep. And the area of northwest Ohio, the Toledo area, is called the Great Black Swamp as a nickname. The Native Americans called it that, and it used to be a very, as you can guess, swampy
Right.
land that they eventually drained. And
They drained the swamp.
they drained the swamp.
All right.
Oh,
Sorry, we got political.
no
there for a second.
political.
Okay.
No politics or
moving
religion.
Forward. I'm gonna move forward. Okay, so the Great Black Swamp was a region of Ohio that you were from, like Elyria area outside of Cleveland, or
No,
nope, it's
no.
not that.
The Great Black Swamp is Toledo
right.
Bowling Green area. That's
That's
where I
Bowling
went to
Green.
school.
Yeah, where you went to school.
Yeah, I
Okay.
grew up in Elyria, which is
Right.
near Cleveland.
Okay.
That's not the Black Swamp.
Right. It's the area around Toledo, or Bowling Green, where you went to school.
Yes, I think
Okay.
we said that.
Right. We've covered that. I just wanted to make it clear for all of our listeners
Yes.
and myself. So that's the name. What about the hand?
The hand comes from my brother, who is a graphic designer, graphic artist, and one of the things that he does is create fonts for web use, for typography, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a set of fonts that was kind of like wingdings. It was a bunch of symbols,
Right.
and that hand was in there. And I saw it, and I thought, hey, I should use that because
It's a hand.
it's a hand, and we play with our hands.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's smart.
it actually changed a little bit. It was a little more angular at the beginning, and I asked him to soften up the edges. That's why it's a little more. The hand is a little more organic looking now.
Yeah, sure. And a side note, like when I go out and visit schools and universities and kind of talk about the history a little bit, I will use kind of the different generations of logos kind of as historical markers. So yeah, the first, if you haven't, not you, Eric, but you all listeners, if you have a product out there that has a logo that looks kind of chunkier, especially on the tambourines, right? Like the hand on the tambourine used to be kind of more angular.
Well, the very first logos on the tambourines just said Black Swamp in a block letter.
Oh, really?
That I had a hot stamp, heat.
Okay.
What do they call that?
Hot.
A brand.
A brand.
A
Okay.
brand.
Yeah.
A wood brand. And that would burn it into there. And then the next logo was, I forget the font name, but that was kind of a rectangular logo.
Right.
And that's when we started getting that logo laser engraved onto the shells.
Right.
And yeah, I used to drop off big boxes of shells at this place in this guy's house in Toledo, and he would do them for me, and then I go pick them up. And I don't know if I ever really met the guy. I just sort of dropped them off on his porch.
I hope they got done.
Yeah. And then we graduated to our current logo, and that's the way you see them marked today when it just says Black Swamp Percussion in bodega font.
Oh, okay. Yeah, over on top of the hand. So, yeah, cool. So sometimes I relate it to Ludwig a little bit. Like you can identify sort of the semi-age of our instruments by how the logo looks, like kind of the different generations of product. So, whatever.
Yeah, I wish I would have kept better track of when
Right.
those changes happened. I suppose we can dig through our old catalogs and
Yeah, that's
kind of see what years.
I'll have Nathan do that.
But
Nathan, if you're listening, start digging through our old catalogs and create a timeline for our logo. So you're in your garage. You advanced from your basement, and now you're in Adrian, Michigan, in your garage. And you mentioned earlier getting some dealers on board. Like, who were some of those early dealers? Because I think that really will begin talking about our trajectory, like how we took off or how we kind of got some momentum. Would you think that was part of it?
Yeah, the dealer part of it is key because your growth is limited if you're selling direct. It takes a lot of effort and takes more people.
Mm-hmm.
To do that type of thing, as far as you're not relying on your dealer network to take advantage of their relationships with schools and individuals.
Oh yeah.
And one of our very early adopters was Steve Weiss Music, and that's been a really good relationship over the years. And also Percussion Source when they got started.
Yep, part of West Music.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a distributor in Japan, Nonaka Boeki Limited, and they are the exclusive distributor in Japan, and they've been around for a long time.
Yep.
As a distributor of our products.
Yeah, and then I think that like building a dealer base was like really instrumental in our yeah. And then what about products? I mean you mentioned earlier that like the timpani mallets, nobody was really doing a bamboo timpani mallet, and so you started building those. Would you say that also has kind of helped us build as an orchestral manufacturer, either finding holes or in product lines that are currently out there, or developing things that aren't necessarily on the market?
Yeah, I would look through catalogs to kind of see how saturated the market was with anything. And at the time I started tambourines, I wanted to go back to the steam bent solid shell frame concept, and there weren't, as far as I know, there weren't any manufacturers making them. They were all plywood shells.
Right.
And so that's why I learned how to bend wood, and that's why all the Sound Art series tambourines in existence are all ash single ply,
right,
steam bent. And other products came about the same way.
Sure.
Looking for either products that are your bread and butter as a player.
Right.
I mean, you're always, pretty much you're going to be playing woodblock and tambourine and triangle at gigs.
Right.
And we just over the years just kind of we added snare drums early on. And I should mention that Tim.
Me?
Yes, you.
You're talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
I'll
start listening.
He was my first official employee, actually, when he was a
yeah.
student at school.
Right,
so long
nice.
ago. How many years have you been working here?
18 full time.
Oh my gosh.
I'm old man now. And then before that, I guess I'd met you like 3 years before that, so kind of part time for a year, and then grad school. We kept in touch, and then full time since 2000.
Yeah, in grad school you'd still work conventions too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go to PASIC. We used to go to TMEA back then, and then come back and do stuff here and there. But yeah,
we're like an old married couple.
Yeah, We'll listen long enough, we'll start bickering. All right, well, I appreciate it, and I think we sufficiently answered at Martin Percussion's question.
Thanks for your question.
Okay, so our next question comes from Greg Spurlbaum in Grand Rapids, Michigan, via email. Greg is actually a former employee and still a good friend of Black Swamp Percussion, so we appreciate him contributing this question. How did you all get your start at Black Swamp, and what is the best thing about working there? So I thought the easiest way to do this would be to have Nathan take a little tour around the shop here and talk to everybody individually, sort of a man-on-the-street approach. And just so everyone's all on the same page, besides Eric, the owner, we have 6 full-time employees here, as well as a part-time local employee who has been sewing up our timpani mouths for almost 20 years. So here's Nathan.
Hi, my name is Nathan Coles. I'm the shipping manager at Black Swamp Percussion, and I also work on social media and branding. I started about 3 years ago, and that was shortly after graduating from Grand Valley State University with a percussion performance degree. I really like working at Black Swamp because it's kind of been in my music career for a very long time. Since middle school, I had been playing Black Swamp gear. And I grew up very close, so literally driving by the shop and using the gear in school was really cool, and it's kind of serendipitous to now be working at the company and being really hands-on, and it's a really great crew. I love everybody at the shop, and we all have a lot of fun, but we're serious about what we do. We all really put our hearts into our work, and we really care about it. So, yeah. All right, introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Eric Peterson. I have been here at Black Swamp for 5 years now in October. And I guess I got my background in music performance with an undergrad at Western Michigan University, and then I did my master's degree at Northwestern University. Those were both in music performance. I guess I would say the thing I enjoyed the most about working here is being able to get my hands on making the instruments that I actually end up playing at night with symphony rehearsals and performances and everything else. And the fact that it's such a small, tight-knit group of people that work here, we're all pretty good friends now after a few years. So, yeah, I guess that's about it for me.
Hi, my name is Kyle Young. I'm the tambourine technician here. I've been here for about 3.5 years. I have a bachelor's degree in music business, and I really like working here because we're all like-minded guys. We all play drums, we're all musicians, and so it just feels like a fun hang every time we get to work.
We're rolling. Hello.
Hi, my name is Christy Warren. I'm the bookkeeper here at Black Swamp. I've been here for 10 years, and my favorite part about working here is just that it's a fun group to work with. Just enjoy working with all the guys here.
Hey, Jamel, how's it going?
Good. My name is Jamel Taylor. I've been working with Black Swamp for 13 years now, and I love it here. I got into working at Black Swamp through knowing a friend. I knew Tim Church prior to working at Black Swamp, and we had another mutual friend who was working here at the time, Jim Thompson, and Black Swamp was looking for a person to work into production and potentially be the production manager at some point. I interviewed for the job, and then I worked my way up in the company, and now I have the title of Vice President of Operations. Reasons why I love working for Black Swamp. It is a well-oiled machine. It is something that, from the time that I started working here, I believed in the mission that Eric Soy put together, the boss. And it's something I get up in the morning and I'm always excited to go to. We've done a good job of putting together an environment of workers who are consistent, show up on time, love what they do, love to joke around, listen to music and the podcasts. And it just makes for a really relaxed environment, very little drama. So, and that's for any job, no matter where you go, finding a cohesive group of people to work with can be difficult. We have a really great mix of people, and that makes me always really excited to get up in the morning and come here. And also knowing that Eric feels the same, like knowing that Eric's mission is to always make things right with the customer and not sell crap. So I believe in that mission. We always want to do right by the customer and always be innovative and cutting edge. And I'm looking forward to sharing what we have in the future for some kind of the Black Swamp vault of ideas that we have that we'll be rolling out over the next few. So yeah.
Thanks, Jamel.
Yeah.
Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Tim.
How are you? My name's Tim Church, VP Sales and Marketing at Black Swamp Percussion. I have 2 percussion performance degrees, and when I was getting my first degree at Grand Valley State University, I had the opportunity to connect with Eric and started working part-time for him then, and then ultimately full-time. So I've been working full-time since 2000, so that's 18 years. I was Eric's basically first official employee. So I'm the old man on campus right now. What was the other question?
Favorite part of
Oh,
working at Black Swamp?
favorite part of working in Black Swamp? Well, at the time, like when I was first getting started, I knew like Eric was kind of onto something special. Like his products were awesome. Obviously, the quality was awesome, and I recognized that like right away and was excited to be a part of that. So that was like my favorite part. Like 18 years ago, like kind of going along for the ride and growing with the company and to where I am now. Right now, my favorite part is obviously like working with the guys. We have a super awesome team here, super awesome, super mega awesome team here, and like everybody's like friends. I think everybody likes me, so it's okay. You can laugh, Nathan. And I also get to work with like our dealer network. I've made a lot of friends like with dealers in the industry, and then I made a lot of friends with like the artists and educators that use our products. So I feel like we've been able to make an impact there and like make connections with people. And I know it sounds cheesy, but kind of make a difference in the industry. So other than that, I've been having a blast. Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks.
Our next question comes from Kevin Enfinger in Madison, Alabama, also via email. Kevin says, thanks for creating and sponsoring the BSP Percussion Ensemble Showcase. As a result, participating ensembles are pushing expectations higher of what high school students can accomplish and are providing some great videos from which others can take inspiration. How many high school ensembles participated in the most recent showcase, and what common threads do you see across the most successful ensembles? So this is an awesome question, and I can easily answer the first part. This past spring, there were 23 total ensemble entries, 10 large ensemble entries, and 13 small ensemble entries. So that's math. 10 plus 13 is 23 total ensembles. We also host a solo division of the Percussion Ensemble Showcase, and last year there were 10 solo performers who participated. These numbers have grown steadily over the years. I remember like the very first year we did it, I think there was 3 ensembles, and we didn't have we didn't have a solo competition at that time. That was kind of added later. Moving on, I decided to bring in a special guest contributor to actually help answer the second part of this question. Dan Smithiger is professor of percussion at Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville and is coordinator of the showcase. So I decided to give Dan a call, and we had a great conversation about Kevin's question.
Hey Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Tim, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. We're doing a little Q&A podcast episode, and one of the questions was about the Percussion Ensemble Showcase.
Yes.
And I thought this would be an awesome opportunity to throw you under the bus a little bit.
Great.
You love that? And
I'm all about that.
Yeah, so I kind of read the question just a little bit ago, and I wanted you to comment on specifically what common threads do you see across the most successful ensembles. And this, again, is talking about the Percussion Ensemble Showcase, which was really your concept, your idea that you pitched to me, which I think was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's 2009.
Yeah. So we'll be going up on the 10th, or is that the 11th anniversary then?
Well, I think we've had the 10th year. I think we're in year 11. I would say.
And you've judged since that time, so I thought you would have the most experience and kind of be the most qualified to comment on this. So, having said all of that, do you have any thoughts on what common threads you see across the most successful ensembles thus far?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
great. There are quite a few things that come to mind about the similarities between all all the years and all the ensembles. Things include all the ensembles usually have really great rhythmic control, just general good rhythmic control, and even through modulations and such. Always very good rhythmic control, just by far.
Sure.
And there's always good rhythmic clarity of things, of lines, of particular phrases, just when they should be. All the really top ensembles, the ones that do really well throughout the last 10, 11 years have always had good clarity on theirs, generally on all of the rhythms. The sound quality that they are producing or that they're coming up with is always usually really good. One of the things that stands out with all of these, at least and certainly in the last 4 to 5 years, is the recording quality of all of these groups. Usually, the top groups, these groups have taken time to get good microphones, good cameras, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So everything's very clear, very clean. The care that groups are taking, that directors are taking to make that happen is astounding.
Sure.
I would say that there's always some really good sounds in the landscape of instruments that we have available to us or that we can use. There's always some just great sounds and great care and great thought into why are they using that shaker, or why are they using that hi-hat, or why are they using that size cymbal. Those things are always very careful considerations.
Yeah.
I would say dynamics and contrasts in dynamics have always been really good and something that ensembles are usually thinking about. I'd say phrasing and the energy of their playing, both sometimes two different things, sometimes the same thing. I'd say the phrasing, those things are always evident in top-notch ensembles. And the energy that these students, these teachers and students are bringing to the recording is pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah, these are all great points, especially.
And I still have a few more.
Yeah. Oh, you do? Keep going.
But wait, there's more.
No.
I'd say the sound quality is always really good. That might somewhat be redundant. I'd say that there's the overall musicianship from players. It seems like is rising.
Sure.
Through these videos, if you look at what we saw in 2009 versus what we just saw a few months ago, there's some excellent musicians. So it's excellent. It's a tribute to the educators out there.
Yeah.
And seeing the Black Swamp showcase, things like that. This is what we need to do. So.
Yeah. No, I think. As the showcase gets better, obviously it's a kind of a cliche, but it raises the bar. The better ensembles that participate and are successful and contribute videos, and the more it's visible, the more it's seen, the kind of higher quality it continues to draw. I think the recording quality is a really great point. Obviously, the better the audio and video. Seeing is a big part of hearing for me sometimes. Is important. So the better quality makes it easier to judge. And energy, I think, is a really good point that you made. If kids are into it and performing, and you can kind of not only see it but kind of feel the energy coming from an ensemble, I think is a really cool point. And then sound source, I thought I didn't even think about that as being an option. Obviously, I put those words in your mouth as far as the source of the sounds, but what instruments they're using and the quality of them, and it all makes a difference. So
I really think so. If you want a great snare drum passage that's very articulate and just an excellent sound quality, of course you're going to get your Black Swamp snare drum out there. You
that was shameless.
In your recording. Yeah, it was shameless. I also think that there's good communication between these groups, these conducted or the chamber ensembles, both. There's a lot of good communication going on within the players, so I think the awareness is good. And there's always usually pretty good tempo control, tribute or a nice comment to the conductors as well, or even the teachers as well, if sometimes things are not conducted. So, the age. One thing I think you can say about the age of YouTube and the internet, the one good thing you can say about it is that I think the awareness of what everybody is doing is just it's really good, right? So you can see what everybody's doing. It just gets better and better and better. So.
Yep, it's a great tool for the community, I guess. But
yeah,
cool, Dan. Thanks.
Does that answer your question?
I think it answered Kevin's question. Yes, quite thoroughly. So
okay.
I appreciate it, and thanks for all the hard work on the showcase and being a
yeah, I could have looked back on all the notes that I made on all the years, and these 15 things really stood out. So
cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. See ya.
Bye, Dan.
We have another question from Instagram here. There are Black Swamp Tippity Mallets and Triangle Beaters. With your roster of BSP artists, is there a chance of BSP artist signature sticks? So regarding signature tippity mallets or other instruments, we had a line of maple tippity mallets in the past that were a signature model, but we no longer manufacture those. I'd say the closest we get is the DeSanza Triangle Trigger. Tony DeSanza has been a friend of Eric's and Black Swamp for a very long time, and he brought this idea of his personal triangle trigger to our table. And then Eric kind of worked with him directly to flush something out that was an extension of Tony's ideas, largely the playing angle, height adjustment, as well as kind of fitting into our current product offerings. From that, I guess it's not an official signature product, but we did work closely with Morris Poulter, who's a Black Swamp artist, on the development of our multi-bass. This being a series of bass drums with telescoping legs for both height and angle adjustment. So Morris was pretty instrumental. I think I used that joke earlier in the episode in kind of developing the multi-bass as far as the idea of some height adjustment and using those telescoping legs. So we like to credit him on that. What else? Considering that, we do rely on our artists for input and product development. This actually kind of leads to another question that our friend Greg Spurlbaum had as well, which is what are the main factors in bringing a new product to market at BSP, and how much does customer influence play a role? So in this case, I would say our artists and educators are also part of our customer base, and we certainly have conversations with them about product development as well as current updates to products or kind of product evolution. Good example of this would be our newer Leggero tambourine. All of our tambourines serve a, sonic or performance purpose, and BSP artist Jeff Irving identified an opportunity for sort of a softer tambourine, something that had a quicker response and kind of lighter weight. We worked with him on a tambourine that had a smaller jingle size, shorter jingle slots. It had a cherry shell. So all this kind of added up to a lighter instrument with a very quick response. It's definitely more of a specialty instrument, but we both sort of felt like it filled a gap in our product line as well as the orchestral tambourine market, I guess. So this, I think, definitely speaks to how many of our products were developed, either identifying a need, maybe solving a problem, working with professional players to help kind of bring it all together. And I know Eric addressed this in a prior conversation we had earlier in the podcast, basically how the timpani mallets, our bamboo timpani mallets, and how our tambourine construction all kind of took shape. So I think that has been key definitely throughout the years for us. It also helps that we're trained and sometimes working musicians. For example, Eric developed our rec plate, which is a mounting system for smaller accessory items. After he spent a deal of time rehearsing and performing a percussion concerto with the Grand Rapids Symphony, Eric needed to hang and mount a collection of smaller accessory items and began kind of brainstorming what eventually the rec plate might look like, how it might function and be most useful in those types of situations. So definitely kind of identifying a need and coming up with a product that might help in that situation. So, we work with our artists. Again, we ourselves are percussionists, so we're always working together, as a team. Eric is definitely the main kind of product developer, but we certainly bounce ideas off each other. As you heard, the other guys are professional players, musicians, and we all are able to kind of collaborate on a lot of this stuff together. So I hope that answers the question. Yeah, other than that, it was fun putting all this together. We really appreciate the curiosity and support of our listeners. Special thanks to Dan Smithiger for contributing, and hopefully we get to do it again sometime. So start thinking of some more questions. Thanks. Take care.